which is currently affectionately sitting in front of Avalon.
Holy shit, that thing would sell for so much money.
That stuff. Dear. Just don't even think about it.
I
will throw you in the water.
Was it even if I don't know what it said this, by the way?
Amazing.
I'm just going to put that out there.
Anyway, is that your new charity case, Morrigan, or is it Avalon who picked them up? Or is it perhaps instead Nicola who picked them up? Whose charity case is this?
I saved them. And he's
Okay, so you...
now my responsibility.
Congratulations.
Notice is a new person. Trots over to dress up.
He trots up.
Trots up to dress up and starts tapping you in the shins.
I'm going to
well, for you, you're a lot smaller.
I'm going to give this bear a bear hug.
I don't know how to respond to this, and it looks confused.
I'm just going to tap him on the back. There you go, bear. Here you have your hug, and then I'm going to let him go.
It looks at you perplexed, and then it starts tapping you on the leg.
Drassel's just going to start talking to people while the bears try to tap him. Right, so thing is, Lucia's sort of figured out what we need to do. So, yeah, if we want the shit to be administered to the Jarl, we can do that. Gonna take some time to make all the solution we need, but we'll get it done. So, thing is, if we feed the Jarl the concoction, he'll probably be fine. Small chance he dies, but that's just what happens when you do medicine. Yeah. So the kid's probably going to go berserk due to the demon wanting, to keep its reason for being in this world. We'll probably have to knock the kid out if we want things to be peaceful. Or you could try to convince the Revenant that the demon is trying to, harm the kid, which might work, but I'm not the one to do that. Also, I don't mind the bear tapping me, but can somebody tell me what it wants?
I think he wants some food. Everyone's gave him a bit of food, so maybe.
Oh shit! Oh, I'm about to become his favorite person. You guys don't even compare. I'm going to hand him a fresh turkey leg from the castle.
Oh.
You just pull out a turkey leg, and the question becomes, where were you hiding that turkey leg?
I don't think they have been given strips of jerky this whole time, and he was able to scarf it up very easily. Dressed up just honks out a big leg of turkey, and Glade is so happy. He takes it, he rolls onto his back, and is just like gobbling it, looking like he's just dripping it off a honey dripper. He is so happy.
Now it's my bear.
Now you can sell it.
Anyway. Yeah, so we have the likely solution that will not kill the owl. I double-checked it. Should work. The procedure itself is not easy, but we shouldn't fuck it up.
What? Again, I'm not magically inclined myself, but if we administer that to the arrow, again, out of game as well, just so I understand this, we did determine that obviously there would have been a deal being made, correct, between the kid and the demon. So again, out of character, we are all in agreement that that was the magical means that kind of was keeping him alive. Because Lucius did say this poison should have killed him, but for some reason it hasn't. So we're in agreement, obviously, magically, that's how it stopped it. Is that correct, or have I missed anything?
Nope. You haven't missed anything. We're believing the demons keeping the arrow alive.
Okay, so in character then Theo Blatt, So we administer the cure. The only issue there being is if there is that magical hold over the arrow, we obviously still need to stop that. Like we might cure the arrow, but then if the demon has put him in some sort of magical coma to obviously cure him, how do we then convince it to stop that? Because that's the main reason why the demon's here, if I'm not mistaken. That's to cure to keep his father alive. And again, we all know demons don't just willingly go away just by talking to them.
Well, we'll probably need to finish the demon before we can even try and convince it to end the coma to begin with, which will end the coma by proxy. If we tell the demon he's cured, the demon will get upset and kill the child and attack us because its contract will be broken. If I'm getting all of this correctly. So we'll need to actually sort of way of banishing it first.
Can I do a society check, V? Like, being within Tevinter, has there been any obligations that have been fulfilled within Tevinter? Because they're all about power and power grabbing. Like, has there been any kind of contracts that have been made with demons through blood magic? And after that's been fulfilled, that demon has just went away peacefully without killing anyone? Because it's still by the letter of the law, like what Avalon's saying is correct. So it would fulfilled what it had to come here for. So then it surely couldn't kill the kid because it's done what it's contractually obliged to do.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say. If we
The
cure
main problem is
him,
that it's a kid.
Demons and devils are not the same. Devils are lawful. Demons are chaotic.
Well, yeah,
you can try this. You can try it. It's going to be a long shot, though, but it's not going to hurt you to fail it.
I would say the group
demon, it's a kid. It's a kid that contracted it, not a full mage. A mage could force the terms onto the demon or make sure the terms are equal. The kid probably was like, "Yeah, save my dad. I'll do what you want." That's my guess.
My only thinking being is after we do that, like we don't know if there was agreement like we need to find a killer or I don't know something like that as well. Like that's the only thing because remember the kid did say that it won't like the whole reason it was killing most of the people in Redcliffe was to find the killer. So that's the only thing. Like I think even as curing the arrow, the demon his contract still won't be fulfilled because the demon's going to have other ways to kind of have the loopholes. I know it's not a devil, I get that, but it's going to have other kind of loopholes to make sure it stays there. It's not just going to have one sole purpose in regards to or one sole agreement in regards to the contract. That's my thinking anyway. I could be wrong.
You think back in all the studies that you had, learning of the ancient histories and families that were either created or destroyed through sudden surges in power or destruction by other noble families. Unfortunately, your studies were primarily focused on warfare and the blade. The magical arts didn't interest you as much. You can't remember any times where someone has outsmarted a demonic bargain.
Yeah, I don't think this thing goes away willingly. Like, okay, we've cured our dad, so like fuck off now. I think it will still be hell bent on, but no, we need to find a killer. I think that's what its next thing will be because that's why it was killing all of Redcliffe, was it not?
Well, we can bullshit it in that regard. Just say it's near the circle. That's what I figure we should do. Unless we want to still kill the kid at the end, which, as you know, I don't care how we end it, just that we end it.
Well, I've already before I say anything, I've got my blade concealed and no one's noticed me. Avalon, you were clearly wanting to say something there. I thought you were. Sorry, my apologies. I'm trying to kind of recall any any history of someone outwitting a demonic bargaining. Again, I can't really think of anything at the top of my head, but
I have religion. Would that maybe work?
I mean, if anyone's able to assist in that or find out if they know anything from that, then by all means, please try. I can't think of anything. My studies were more kind of focused on warfare and fencing and stuff like that. So
Dressed up, try religion, but because this is a faith not your own, it's going to be a tough check.
Nah, fuck that.
Dressed off is certain there have been people that have bargained with the demons against the stone. And you remember there was a paragon created for defying a demonic pact.
Well, there was a paragon, one of the best dwarves known to the history of dwarven kind, that managed to defy a pact with a demon. But we don't have a paragon around now, do we? So not an option.
I thought dwarves couldn't.
I'm just gonna look at Avalon Black. Just let him have this one. He's proud.
And before you say you can't do magic, yeah, we can't. But that's the thing. Normal people can make demon pacts.
I'm going to do a religion check as well.
Avalon, is there anything you've ever heard of in your studies to maybe outwitting a pact with a demonic being? I mean, this might be up your street in regards to what you've studied in the past. Surely the circle would have made you aware of such things.
I'm not. I'll give me a second to think.
Figure this out. Nicola, you are remembering from your studies of all the times you spent under the Keeper and the First, learning how to use your magic responsibly. And you remember being taught about how demons will disguise themselves as natural spirits to confuse and take advantage of young mages. All the times you've ever been taught of people that have been tempted by demonic origins has always crashed and burned. However, there are some keepers that are still alive today that are known to have defied demons before, though how they did it, you can't remember.
I know of some keepers who have defied demons before. And I remember something about sometimes the demons can actually pose themselves as spirits, as if they almost dupe the person into getting into it. But that's about all I can remember.
Okay.
Avalon teachings. Demonic possession is something that is central to the core of the very philosophy of the Circle of Magi. You can't remember a single day that ever passed in your studies where you weren't finger wagged about how bad demons are. But demons are known to go after people with particularly weak will. They know that they could dominate others, but it takes a great deal of effort from them, more than they're usually willing to do. Demons want to gain power over other demons. Over other people, they seek out those who are already vulnerable. When they lay their pacts, they choose their words with things that are easy to construe, loopholes that are easy to have multiple interpretations. So a very smart person can outwit a demon, but demons tend to go after people that have already been defeated in the contracts that they've made.
All right. Well, I would share that knowledge with the others. And I would add on by saying that I don't think there's a good chance that the demon set up an either the demon set up an extremely easy to break loophole because it thought lowly of the kid. Simply the demon has set up an easy to break contract, as in the Arl is cured, which was considered very unlikely, and then the demon is upset, or it will have many alternative ways to keep its contract going. I still don't know if it's right to risk it by admitting that we may or may not have cured the Arl.
I mean, the Revenant, right? So, is the Revenant here on the demon's command or the kid's command? Because obviously Drastov came to some sort of understanding around that, and he obviously said he wants to try and And
The Revenant has told us it's serving Connor, not the other demon.
Right. So lawfully, then the demon would have to abide by, if we have cured the arrow and we have done what Connor had wanted, then surely then the Revenant would be on our side if the demon then was to try and inflict any damage upon Connor. But again, that also that's its own loophole, because the Revenant isn't going to then go and harm Connor as the embodiment with the demon inside him. That's the only issue that we'll have with that one.
Yeah, but it would have to stand down, no?
Yeah, that would be the benefit, is we might not have to fuck with a Revenant. That'd probably
the undead are controlled by the Revenant. We can handle a kid with a demon in it, just gotta knock him out.
Are we sure? Is the Revenant in control? I thought the Revenant was just like a separate entity that's made a pact, and the
Avalon's the expert on that shit.
The best I could identify, the kid has control of the undead, at least on some level, because the kid seems to have some awareness of things that are happening around the undead. Okay. So that could be that the Revenant told him those things.
Okay. So yeah, we'd have to try and figure it if we can. Morrigan, Avalon, Nicola, is there any way you guys can, probably off the top of your head, figure that out? Like, in regards to who's, I mean, I think obviously Morrigan already said that the main source here is obviously the kid, but what's linking the Revenant here? Like, what kind of pact has the Revenant made? As soon as we know that, then...
Well, the Revenant is likely a really powerful demon. Normally demons of tyranny or pride would be the ones that would possess a corpse, and in and of themselves, demons like that are actually able to cross over at weak points between reality and the fade of their own volition. It takes a lot of effort, but that's why they're the only ones that can do it, because they're strong enough. It's likely that Revenant is one such case. It's something else that came here of its own volition.
So it's taking the opportunity of what's happened here to then kind of say, listen, I can come through and help you, kind of thing. And then it's been opportunistic. Okay, I mean, it'll be hard to try and, if that's the avenue we're going to go down, to get the Revenant to side with us rather than the Demon of Desire, because again, if it is somehow linked to that, then we're pretty much fucked. But if it isn't, then it's a logical avenue to go down to try and say to this Revenant, listen, like, you are obviously lawfully here to protect Connor. Now we can cure the arrow, but our worry now is that when we cure him, that the demon in possession of Connor is going to inflict harm upon Connor. So, I
mean, wouldn't a safer starting point be to just address the relationship of the demon to Connor and see how the Revenant reacts to that?
No, that's the avenue that I'm going down. So we need to understand the relationship between the Revenant and Connor firstly, and then ask about the relationship between the Revenant and the actual demon. Because I imagine the Revenant isn't stupid. It knows there'll be another demonic host a part of Connor. So that's my only, again, I'm not trained in the magical arts. I'm more thinking from an outsider's perspective here, is if that Demon of Desires came here, has it then invited this Demon of, if what you said, pride in? So then it has some form of oath or obligation towards that Demon of Desire. So then we might go to it and also try and convince it to not, or to stand down and not fight. But we also might fuck ourselves in the running over. Again, I'm just spitballing. It's not my forte, understanding demonic entities and possession of bodies and whatnot. It's just more trying to, if we are going to take this avenue, make sure that we've got a story spot on if we're going to talk to this Revenant about this, or even talk to Connor, or see if we have the cure or not, whatever we're going to do.
Was someone wanting to ask Morrigan to make a check on something?
It was more how she believes the Revenant has got here. Like, is the Revenant beholden to this demon of desire, or does she believe this is its own entity? So if we were to plead a case that we could convince the Revenant to say, listen, like, stand down, like, we can cure the arrow, but our concern now is the demon of desire that might harm Connor with the pact that you've made, essentially. If I'm wrong, please let me know, guys, but that's what I was thinking of.
Morgan is going to roll a check and see what she knows. She hasn't been able to make any contact with Connor, so she's going to be taking penalties on doing this because she doesn't understand everything.
Okay.
I need time to understand the connection between the Revenant and the child. If it is a magical bond binding them, my best belief would be that Connor may be a mage and doesn't know it. His family believes that he is. That's what started this. The demon has vast control over magic. I believe that the demon has used Connor's body to summon the Revenant, which would bind the Revenant to Connor, not the demon.
Okay, so what Avalon and obviously Drastov are saying is we could possibly use that as an angle to say, listen, we can cure the arrow, but our main concern now is when we cure him, what the demon of desire does to Connor. You're here in protection of Connor, so if it comes to a fight, surely you wouldn't get in a way, or you would stand down because we're trying to protect Connor and the arrow. Do you think that would work, or?
I give kind of a embarrassed, this is another stupid idea coming out of my mouth face as I say, I could just ask the Revenant. I mean, I've kind of been talking to him, so.
If you believe you can get that information from the Revenant, then fine. Or if, again, if you want me to do it, I don't mind. It's whatever you guys want. I'm just here to assist you in whatever you guys need.
Out of character, I don't want to hog screen time by interacting with the interacting with the Revenant for a long time.
You got plenty of time to worry about that. If someone's being a spotlight hog, I will take it from them, so don't worry about it.
Well, I guess I can go interact with the Revenant a little bit, see where he stands. The being that's inhabiting that body, it's smart enough to know that I think that it's smart enough that if I talk to it, I think it will answer sensibly.
Okay.
Although I don't know if I do any good at convincing it if we needed to convince it not to stand beside the demon of desire.
Do you want me to come with, or do you want to do that on your own?
You can come along. I mean, it can't hurt.
Cool. So I think we're going to go and talk to the Revenant then. But do we want? I take it we're also keeping it quiet at the moment that we might have a cure for the arrow. So if
Lucius isn't telling him.
If we're keeping it quiet, again, also I know we need Lucius here, but we don't want to take him away from anything. What is going to be our next plan of action? Because the demon is going to want some form of answer sooner or later, and we can't keep putting that off. What do we say? What we're going to do? What's our plan here?
So the good news I can offer is it seems like the demon has sustained the arrow magically, and it has no sense of the arrow's actual condition. So we could actually perform the magic. Well, we can perform the application of the antidote on the arrow, and success or fail, the demon will be none the wiser. At which point we can tell the demon it will take time for the antidote to actually process through the body, and that'll give us some breathing room. If we want to go the avenue of the circle, we can then also use the circle as an out, saying during the time that the antidote will take several days to process, and in that time we can go to we can handle the actual villain that committed the crime. Air quotes. If we want to go about the circle.
So we want to convince the demon that the so-called killer is in the circle, go there to then see if we can get people to return and perform an exorcism on the kid with the demon. Am I understanding that correctly? And then use the whole cure that it's going to take time for this to happen, but while this is happening, we are then going to go and find the killer because we believe the killer is in the circle. Is that correct?
Oh,
that is kind of what we were I was proposing, yes. Worst come to worst, I still don't think we have to bring a circle mage back. It's possible the circle mages could just have some resource that would make this process very simple without the presence of a mage.
I think Morrigan told us though, like it would need to be near for us to do the expelling the demon. It needs to be, the person needs to be near, so we would need to bring someone back. If I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure someone said that to us.
No, Morgan was. You're right. Morgan did say that, but I was thinking something more like a staff. They might have a staff or something I can loan out because circle mages are allowed to loan magical equipment for situations like this. I didn't think of that until, truthfully, just a moment ago. But there's a possibility that they would have some staff that would allow me to perform an exorcism.
That just means.
And at that point, we just have to sneak it in. And then I would say, and I would hope that somebody else could help me sneak a staff in, because God knows I can't do it.
I mean, just let Lucius play old man and say it's a new walking stick. Problem
Fucking
solved.
Gandalf 2.0. You wouldn't take a walking stick away from an old man, would you?
That is actually a good point.
You have no power here, demon of desire.
Anyway, one problem at a time. We should probably go talk to the Revenant and figure out who it actually serves. Although it sounds like Connor.
Cool.
Get me if you need me for any medical procedure, because otherwise I'm playing with my new bear. Isn't that right, bear? You gotta be the best bear.
Glade is very happy. It is sitting on its butt, and it's like clapping its paws at you. It no longer cares about Nicola.
That
Nicola, your new bear companion has defied you already.
Glace, I'm just going to scorn him, and I'm going to shout at him.
It rolls its head over to its right and looks at you, and then it looks back at Drestov.
Don't listen to my baby girl. You don't know. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Calls Glace girl. Calls Glace girl.
I don't know what gender it is. It doesn't matter. It's a bear.
Glace looks down at its crotch. He doesn't really know.
I will love you no matter what you are, Glace. Unlike her.
Don't listen to this idiot.
I'm the idiot with tasty food, though. Listen to this idiot.
Glade's ears prick back up as it stares at Drestov.
Now, as for my secondary purpose for the people that camped out in the wilderness like peasants, I did in fact bring food so I could feed you something less shit. Because I'm not a complete dick about these sorts of things.
Oh, you're just a dick about stealing other people's animals.
Well, since when does Glaith have, an owner? He's just a friend, right?
I mean, Theo.
Really thinks I'm his mum?
Oh, God. Yeah, well, I don't want to be anyone's father, so that's your animal problem now.
I thought as much.
Glaive moves up to nuzzle on Nicola's leg.
Anyway, call on me if you need the medical procedure done or anything like that. Otherwise, I'll just stay outside. Theo, your ball game now.
Before me and Theo head inside to talk to the Revenant and check, and I think I'll want to check with Lucius too, just to see if there's any new updates from his end. I would ask, Morgan,
Yes.
you need to get an eye on this and kind of get an idea of what's going on with the whole situation, right? Do you have any magic that can perceive through others' perceptions? I know it's possible with familiars, but I'm not sure about people.
I do not have such abilities, I'm sorry.
That's unfortunate.
I could ascertain the connection between the two, but not from this far away. I'd have to either get in there or Connor would have to come out here. I don't think either is going to happen.
Well,
Yeah.
worth a try.
Well, I am sorry that you're stuck on the outside of the situation for now. And then, assuming Theo's ready, we can head inside.
Theo's just waiting at the bottom of the ramparts here.
I'll just make food for the peasants that didn't yet, or at least ate only shit food.
Morrigan is very hungry. She is appreciative of the food. Thank you, Dresta.
She didn't
No
express
problem.
that to anybody else.
What?
Yeah.
I said she didn't express that to anybody else.
She doesn't ask for really anything.
Anyway,
Glaive is very stoked to be getting some cooked meals. You guys tell me what you're doing.
We want to go talk to the Revenant.
He's chilling, watching you guys since most of you are outside now.
Oh, well, that's convenient. I didn't actually know if that was him there or not, because the map doesn't adjust very much.
I haven't moved him because that's where he was, but now that 5 of the 6 of you are outside, he's out here with you.
All right, let me devote my attention to this for a second. My attention's kind of been parted this whole time. I would walk up to. Me and Theo would walk up to the Revenant. Once again, Evelyn feels that self-conscious sense of.
Excuse
Oh,
me.
God.
Theo would strut with confidence.
Yeah,
Theo, yes, he would.
let's say I will definitely not question that. But Evelyn, for her part, is trying to seem stoic, but at the same time, anybody who's slightly perceptive can see Evelyn's kind of got a. God, what do I said I would do this, but what do I actually say? Type of thing going on as she's walking up to the Revenant. But I would hail him, and this is actually the first time I spoke to him this morning, so I would tell him good morning. Good morning, Sir Knight.
Good day.
So, I know we've kind of been talking about your history, which I actually look at Theo and I said, I forgot to tell you. The knight, or perhaps the body, I'm still having trouble explaining it, is an ash warrior. So that's the people that settled the lands. I believe Tevinter was actually the first kingdom that the ash warriors founded, if I remember correctly. Using this as a distracting segue.
I assume I would just know that, V.
This is very ancient history. This is talking about nearly 1,000 years ago, but yes. If she is correct, then the remains that the Revenant is now inhabiting may be one of the very first people on this continent.
I mean, it makes sense. Tevinter did own majority of the world at one point. See?
Yes, they did.
Out of character, I'm slowly indoctrinating everyone to have the Tevinter mindset.
The Tevinter superiority. Theo, you need to make a bunch of red hats that say "Make Tevinter great again." Mata, Mata.
Mata. Sorry.
that
I
sounds
heard
like
most
a
of that.
fucking cult chant.
My sister came in asking about my niece, so I got distracted for a tiny second there. So Theo is just feeling prideful that he's looking at an ash warrior and that Tevinter is great.
Oh, this may be one of the first members of what later became the Tevinter Imperium.
Oh. Big neat.
mean,
I would
can't be that good. He died.
old age.
No, the only acceptable death for a warrior is death in combat.
I guess that's fair. But hey, old age can still lead to death in combat.
It makes it easier.
I would direct my attention back towards the Revenant after that quick little exposition towards Theo. And I would say, I actually had a question for you, Sir Knight.
You can feel its eyes on you.
You're in service to Connor? Nobody else?
I serve the lord of this castle.
Does that mean that if the Arl returned to power, you would serve him?
I think
You can almost sense a conflict in the Revenant's mind as it doesn't answer you.
I'm not trying to invoke any like apprehension or betrayal of Connor. I'm just trying to figure out because I'm kind of curious. Theo being from Taventer, he was also a little curious. If it's a touchy subject and hard to answer, I won't press.
I am here to serve the Lord of Redcliffe. Who that is matters not.
Okay.
I see. Oop. Sorry.
No,
go ahead.
I'm just saying okay. I'm sorry. I'm just saying I'm not saying okay to like then interrupt you. I'm just saying okay in regards to I get his response. He's essentially out of character. He's given us an answer, but he's not directly saying to us like, yeah, that means again because I think out of character he knows obviously the demon desires maybe watching somehow, or maybe listening in. So he needs to be tactful in how he responds to us as well. That's probably why he's saying that. Or responding the way he is.
Well, I would nod as he says that, and again I would say I see. Well, I guess if that's the case, then we don't have too much to worry about. Seems like a straightforward relationship. Okay, well, that's really kind of all I wanted to ask. I guess I could ask, since you don't remember anything with your body, what do you remember? Are your memories of the Fade, or?
I have no memory.
It's honestly terrible.
I don't know if I'm picking up on this wrong, but is Avalon struggling to essentially ask some more questions and just to buy time, or?
Part of it is to buy time, and the other part of it is because Avalon is actually curious on if there's any humanity left in this creature.
Avalon has such a heart of pure gold that she just wants to bring the Revenant himself back to the light.
Even the Maker will accept you. No, he won't. Okay, I'm going to wait for Avalon to also finish the conversation then.
Well, I would ask Servant, if you don't remember anything about yourself, do you have anything that might point you towards who you were?
It doesn't matter who I was. What matters is who I am.
But it does matter.
It does not.
But you were proud when I told you you were an Ash Warrior. You were one of that body, or perhaps even you were one of the greatest, like, humans to ever exist.
That person is dead and gone.
I let out a sigh and I say, if that's really how you feel about it. Well, I guess we won't be getting any more interesting conversation out of the Revenant, Theo.
If I may ask you a question, Revenant, I don't know if you go by a name. I'll just call you Revenant. I have no idea. Do you have a name you like to go by?
I do not have a name.
Do you want a name?
I do not need one.
Okay. Under what? For me again, I'm just trying to understand it. Oh, I'm not inclined in that way to understand the Fade and the magical arts themselves. I know you've said that you're here to serve the Lord of Redcliffe, which is a lawful thing to do. It's something that takes dedication. In regards to how you were summoned here, though, like, I assume obviously you know, and no disrespect meant by this, you are within the land of the living. It's not something that would normally happen. A revenant serve a living lord like this. What was the pretense of how you were summoned into the duty that you're now in?
I do not know the manner of my binding here.
You just know your fulfillment is to serve the Lord of Redcliffe. That's all. That's kind of like,
I was summoned and given life to serve the Lord of Redcliffe.
okay.
Here's an interesting question. If the Lord of Redcliffe would take actions to kill himself, what would you do?
Then I would cease to exist if he was dead.
But you wouldn't try and stop the Lord from killing themselves?
I am not here to stop the Lord from taking any decisions of his own.
Okay, then what if something else forced it upon him?
Then that person would die.
Interesting. So you obviously show your own, and again, no disrespect meant by this. You also show your own self-awareness around the situation and what's going on. You're here to serve young Lord Connor, or Arl Connor, sorry. In this time where also we are trying to help his family out. You must be aware of the conflict within Connor, no?
There is no conflict.
So, if I was to tell you Connor is not himself, and let's just say hypothetically, your summoning was due to another demonic entity, say a demon of desire, and that would be how you've got here, what would be your stance on that situation in regards to...
I am here to serve the Lord of Redcliffe.
Out of character right now, all he's doing is just giving us his soldier ID and his name. All V's doing right now is pretending this guy's been interrogated and just say, "My name is Johnson and my soldier ID is 25D1." That's all.
You're also assuming he has enough intelligence to know the difference.
I mean,
He isn't undead. He may not understand what you're asking him.
I think he does. I would like to say that he does.
You can.
Okay. So you're here, you're here to summon the Lord of to help the Lord of Redcliffe. Okay. So let's say that the Lord of Redcliffe is not in his right mind. Let's say there is another entity that, as soon as we administer a cure to get his father back, if we even are to have one, which again at this point we don't, let's say that we do that, and then that entity that is controlling Connor is no longer happy with him because that part of the bargain has been fulfilled. You're obviously here to you're here to serve the Lord of Redcliffe. So if that other entity that you can't see at the moment because it's more affecting his mind rather than something you can actually see, like your sword, for instance. If we are to cause any harm, you would use your sword to strike us down. You can physically see that, you can physically do that. The situation would there be then that we have is, if we were able to do this, then we're in worry that this other entity that you can't see nor protect the Lord from might have an influence over young Connor or affect him in any way. So we're just trying to get your understanding of, if that was a scenario that was to arise, where you would stand on that. I know you said you're here to serve the Lord of Redcliffe, so I just want to make sure, like you're doing, you want to protect the Lord. I want to protect everyone here in regards to the companions. I want to make sure that we're on the same page, that if we are able to do this, that should that situation arise and you were able to understand what we're explaining to you in the situation, that you wouldn't cause us any harm, because we are truly trying to help him.
If you do not bring harm to my lord, I do not bring harm to you.
Perfect. I think we've got an answer. Thank you very much. Do you have any other questions, Evelyn?
I would shake my head no.
I will not take up any more of your time. And where do we want to go for here? Do we want to go in the castle, or do we want to go back, or?
We should probably go and talk to the others really quick. Just explain to them.
Yep. We'll head back then. Excuse me.
Well, we would share what we just found with the rest of found out with the rest of the group. So.
You go.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. So the big thing we learned is that if we do bring back the Arl and the Arl is conscious, then the Revenant is bound to the Arl.
So that might be a loophole in regards to how we don't need to fight a Revenant. As much as I would love the opportunity to test my skills against him, that might be a way we can loophole that.
It is possible that the Revenant will also just go away when the Demon of Desire is defeated.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't know how he was summoned here. So either he's playing dumb, or he genuinely doesn't know this answer. He kept giving, most of the time he kept giving us the answer, he's here to serve the Lord of Redcliffe. I obviously tried to dumb it down as best I can for him, but so long as we don't bring any harm to the Lord, then we are fine. He won't try to harm us. So I believe if we can and get the cure, and then somehow expel the demon within Connor, that's maybe the safest way to do it. And I don't think the Revenant would fight us, because we technically aren't harming him. I've tried to help him understand as best I possibly can. Like, there might be something that's not something he can see that will affect a lot. So if the Demon of Desire has summoned the Revenant, she's probably summoned a really stupid one who just doesn't really understand that much. Or either he does understand that much and he is either conflicted in his answers and doesn't want to say anything that's going to cause him harm, because maybe she has control over him. Again, I don't know. But I think we should be safe.